I'd like to share a few thoughts about talking with teenagers, middle school students, high school students. You may be asked to speak to a youth ministry at some point, or a Bible study that deals with high school students. And I think this is something that we can be kind of nervous about. I worked in youth ministry for a few years, and I know it can be intimidating to think of being in front of a group of teenagers. I want to encourage you just that young people are generally interested and excited in hearing about mission work and interested to hear from someone new that isn't their typical leader. A few tips to keep in mind. One is that when you're working with young people, it is good to appeal to their emotions, to help them put themselves in the shoes of either what is it like to be a missionary or what is it like to be someone who lives in another country. And you can help them think about, what would you do if you were in this situation? I'll put up on the intranet kind of idea for how to be able to do that. And also have them talk, maybe if they have small groups or have a neighbor that they can talk with within your presentation for a few minutes about what do you think, to help appeal to emotions. As you do that, though, I encourage you not to feel like it's your job to convict young people. Sometimes we can kind of put on a guilt trip about, oh, we live in the United States and we have all this money. And I wouldn't make that your goal. Just make it to be inspiring and excite them about missions and the work that God is doing around the world. Another idea is, or thing to keep in mind, is just to only use technology as much as you feel comfortable. I think that when we think of teenagers, we think, oh, we have to be hip and have all this exciting technology, and realize that that's not necessary. Certainly, we have MAF videos that you could use, I think is good as a way to draw in a little bit of technology that's easy to pop in a DVD, but don't feel like you need to have some really snazzy presentation or cool apps or whatever, unless that's something that you feel comfortable with, then by all means do it. But young people are getting approached with technology all the time, and they don't need you to add something else, especially if it's going to stress you out to be doing that. And along those lines, just keep in mind that young people value authenticity over coolness. Don't feel like you need to be hip or whatever, but just be real, be honest, be transparent. That's what they're really looking for. You can just, as you are thinking about your presentation, think about just being relaxed with them, being maybe a teacher rather than a preacher. You don't have to be someone formal up front who's unapproachable, but just be real with them and let them get to know you through your presentation.